So I am Megan. I'm from Pennsylvania. Originally, I moved down here to Panama in 2018 with the Peace Corps, in which time I met my now husband, Oscar. And now we have, well, Rod and Oscar started the company, Retire in Panama Tours, where we tour around potential future expats from all over the world, but mostly North America that are thinking of relocating to Panama. And like Rod was saying earlier, it's not just retirees. There are a lot of young people and young families too that are looking at Panama to live and work and raise their family in. So that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. Oscar?
Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I am Oscar Peña. I'm originally from Cali, Colombia. Been in Panama, it's going to be this year 14 years. But before Panama, I was living in Costa Rica for 3 years and a half, working in a tourism and hotel industry. What we do in the company is basically introduce you guys to this culture, show you every single corner of this gorgeous country, and also to learn about Panama, about Panamanians, how to live with and become a happy expat. Well, since I've been we're not just retiring Panama. We also are Panama Expats, or our sister company. They will provide private services for people that wanted to check out the country, or the people that are already here in the country, but they need also specific assistance to get things done. The best way to explain it is we are specialists to remove the red tape. That's the best way to describe it. But also we want respect to show you and introduce you to the culture of this gorgeous country. I've been doing this business and working with the expat services since 2010. Had a really extensive background with the hospitality and also with North American clientele, especially from Canada and United States. So yeah, that's who I am.
Perfect. For you guys, Oscar and Megan are going to be here for the next hour taking your questions directly. Let's take a look at, if you look down in the chat where you can type your question, but we are inviting some of you guys to come on screen with us and come on screen with Oscar and Megan. We want to see who you are. Hey, bring the kids. What the heck?
Bring the kids.
So if you look where you type your message, you see a happy face there. You click on that happy face and you see a raise your hand. That will put you in a queue to ask your question. The people who raise their hands will get the first questions answered, and but otherwise, for people who are too shy to turn on their cameras, we'll show you how to do it. You can type your questions in the chat, and then we'll get to the Q&A and answer everything. Ooh,
great!
And Oscar, Megan, who are these people in this picture?
Yeah, so before we take your questions, we want to tell you guys a little bit about us and go over some of the
your
main
family dynamic, basically.
Yeah, go over some of the main stuff about being a family here in Panama as foreigners raising a family. Here on the screen, you guys can see a picture of our family. This is Oscar and I and our 3 kids. 2 are
sorry, I was checking out a movie.
Yeah, 2 are Oscar's kids from previous marriages. So Valeria, who's a full adult now, but she lives in Colombia and she spends part-time here with us in Panama. And then we have Phoenix, who is 10, and he lives with us in Panama here too. And he's in a private international school here, bilingual school. And then in my arms in the picture is Noah, the new addition to the family, who's 7 months old now. So yeah, that's us.
Yeah, that's us. And we're very happy and thankful with this beautiful country because it's very safe. Compared to many others, and Panama is just very easy. Depends where you are also in the country. It's very affordable, and kids can have a lot of more freedom in a way, of course, with the responsible parenting. But we're very happy to be raising our family here. My daughter, she's 21 right now, and then every time she comes here, she lives in Cali, Colombia, and I love my city, but as a big city has sometimes challenges with security like any other big city. So every time she comes to Boquete or anywhere in Panama, she really enjoys, can be herself, meaning like security-wise, she don't worry about pretty much nothing. here in this country.
Yeah. And Phoenix and Noah were both born in Panama, so they have their Panamanian citizenship.
Yep.
And
And they also have U.S. citizens, so they're gonna be the next James Bonds if
With all their
getting that three
passports.
nationalities. Actually, if they want to get the Colombian one, that's Noah right there claiming, "Hey, I'm here."
Okay, so we wanted to go over some of the big things that we know we'll have a lot of questions about.
Yeah. One thing, get in line to ask the questions, folks. Go down to the chat, hit on the happy face, and raise your hand if you have a question. Carry on, Megan.
Yeah, perfect. So first we want to go over residency options because we know that's a big one. It's not as affordable or simple for residency for working people as it is for retirees. Although sometimes we have younger people come in that have a pension. Sometimes they worked in the military or retired young. So that is an option on the list. We also have Friendly Nations visa as an option. And that, in order to get the Friendly Nations visa, some of the main requirements are either having a job offer here in Panama, a minimum, or a $200,000 investment in real estate, or $200,000 in a Panama bank for at least 2 years. That has 2 applications. So that's also, you have to go through the fees of that 2 times as well. You can bring them.
We're gonna bring the little one.
Woohoo!
Yes, Pensionado qualified investor visa is the other one, which is $300,000 in real estate that you're investing in order to get a visa. That's going to be going up to $500,000 next year. And then we also have we'll be sending this out after the call too, so you guys will have this info. And it breaks down how much extra you would need per dependent as well. The digital nomad visa is a great option if you just want to come down and check out Panama for a little while and you're working remotely. That'll give you temporary 9 months here in Panama. And then you can also renew that. And married with a Panamanian visa, that's pretty straightforward. If you end up moving down here and marrying a Panamanian, you can get residency and citizenship that way. Also, parents of a Panamanian child visa. So that's if you come to Panama and have a child, once the child is 5 years old, because any child that's born here automatically gets Panamanian citizenship. So once they're 5, you can get residency and citizenship through your child. And then the Panama-Italy treaty is a really easy one too if you're Italian.
Or have any way to prove they have Italian citizenship.
Yeah. And the family regrouping one is an option for people who are already residents or citizens in Panama that want to bring more family here to live with them.
Right on. We have some people asking questions, raising their hand. We're going to briefly go through the slideshow, which you're going to get after, because I know you guys probably have a whole bunch of questions on this page. That's great. That's what we're going to answer. Yeah. We're just going to review and then Megan's also going to get into a budget analysis, what their life looks like. So we're just going to carry on and we'll be coming at your questions shortly.
Great. Yeah, so just quickly a little bit about schools. I'm sure there's a ton of questions on schools for kids here. The typical Panamanian school year is March through December, although some international schools will follow a North American schedule, September through June. You have the options of private school, public school, or homeschooling. I just wanted to mention secular versus non-secular because a lot of schools do teach religion here, mostly Catholic or Christian in the schools because 90% of Panama identifies as Catholic Christian. Accreditation is something that you want to really look at when you're looking at schools here. Not all of them come with international. And not all of them come with international accreditation. So definitely ask that. If you want your kids to be able to go to universities around the world, you'll want them to have international accreditation. There's also Panama Ministry of Education's accreditation through the public schools if they want to go to universities here. But and then if you're homeschooling, that's a whole process that you have to go through to get your education accredited, and it can be costly. Tuition varies greatly for private schools. Public schools here is free. The benefit is that your kids will learn Spanish really quickly, but quite honestly, it's not a great education in the public schools here in Panama, and most Panamanians that can afford private school for their kids send their kids to private schools. So there you can see there's usually an enrollment fee anywhere from $400 for first enrollment to $2,000 plus. And then a monthly payment. Sometimes they offer annual too, but a monthly anywhere of $100 to $1,500 plus. It's really a huge range in prices, along with extra costs such as transport, books, etc. Teachers are a really important thing to think about. If you're sending your kids to an international school, are the teachers from all over, or are they just Panamanian? Personally, I think that's probably one of the most important things you want to look at if you're looking at schools here in Panama. And that's just my quick overview. Obviously, there's so much more, and we'll get into it.
Alrighty, so we're going to obviously be coming back to schools. I think the fourth question, well, immigration schools, and what does it cost to live in Panama with a family?
Mm-hmm.
Megan put this chart together. Now, this is basically the column they're in. They live in Volcan, it's expat community. And this is the column that they're in. So just basically go through these types of expenses, Megan, and how much, like what other types could you come up with?
Yeah, so this is very average. Obviously, it could depend greatly. For a city, that would be Panama City prices that we're looking at. And expat community could be Boquete, Coronado, Pedasí. Country life would be really off out in the country where you're sending your kids to public school, probably using public transportation, really living really Panamanian local life, local food, all of that. Electricity is pretty consistent. It's going to be more if you have air conditioning, run a lot of different appliances. If not, if you're here in Boquete, it'll be a lot less. Utilities are consistent. Cell phone, internet is consistent. Maid service, it'll vary depending on the cost of living, where your maid is living and working. Transportation, again, depends if you're doing public transportation or if you own a vehicle. Entertainment, we were kind of basing that off of, obviously really depends on your family, but for a family of four to go to see a movie is going to be $25.
Yeah, tops. Like it's $2.50 for the kids, $5 for the adults.
Exactly.
Yeah, and if you get a lot of popcorn and stuff, no, it's gonna be no more than $40-$50. I would say so.
Yeah, that's with like food for everyone. So it depends, what's going on, how much you get out. Healthcare. So those quotes were for $350 would be a family of four with MAP-free insurance, which is it is international. You're fully covered in Panama and Central America, and then with a larger deductible outside of Central America. And then the $525 was a quote for a family of four on international worldwide health insurance.
Top-notch insurance, we're talking. You can insure it cheaper. Just don't do it. Okay.
That would be like you can go get care in the top hospitals in the United States too. So, food obviously really varies. That's for groceries, more or less for a month, but it depends. If the more local brands you eat, the less it'll be. If you're buying just imported goods, it's going to be a lot more expensive.
How do you shop? Where do you buy your fruits and vegetables? Do you buy them in the grocery store?
Yeah, so we live in Boquete, so we just go to any of the vegetable and fruit markets around town, and it's
local vendors.
All local, really affordable. Yeah, and then if you go to just like the Organica store, the Reba Smiths, all the imported stuff, it's going to be a lot more.
Yeah.
Restaurants, same thing. It depends. In the city, we're quoting that as like maybe $10 per person per meal. Whereas in the expat community, maybe a little bit less. And then in country life, that's like you're eating $3 Panamanian restaurant meals all the time.
Yeah, but you can always go like with a 20 plus, 30 plus if you like in Panama we say that we're for bougie JJ. That's
Exactly.
that, and then you can go higher for sure.
Yeah, it all depends on your lifestyle.
Mhm.
So these are really average numbers. School is the same thing. For ours, we were thinking of Phoenix. That's where we got $500 a month. With his school at AIB, which is the International Bilingual Academia, just outside of Boquete. That would be his tuition, his transport, his after-school activities, his food. That's about $500 a month.
Yep, more or less that. Yeah.
Mhm. And there's also a daycare in Boquete that is half day for toddlers. That's $200 a month as well.
Okay, we're going to close this one for now. Now, people, we're going to start asking people to come join us who are raising their hand. So please, now, if you've raised your hands, you're going to see a little pop-up on the screen. Well, if you don't see it, just hover over your screen. You'll see the camera and microphone button. Just click on those to turn them on. They will be red. You need to turn them green. So for those people who want to raise your hand, down by the chat, hit the happy face. So we're asking Brookie to come on. I just gave you access to the microphone and camera. If you can turn that on and join us and ask your question. For those of you too shy to come on, just type your question in the chat. There's Brookie.
Hi, bro.
Hi, Brooke.
Hi, it's Brooke. My last name starts with A.
Oh, okay. I got to sit closer to the screen.
Hi. Thank you very much for holding this meeting. Yeah, I'm coming down at the end of the week with my mother. We're thinking about moving down there. I have a family of 4. I have 2 young kids, 6 and 8, and my husband. And I just wanted to know if you know anything about the schools in Volcan. That's the area we're going to be looking at. So anything you can tell me about Volcan would be great.
It's called the Tierras Altas Academia, and that's a private school there. And we'll be sending out, we can even take it from the list and put it in the chat now, but after the call, we'll also be sending out a list of a bunch of the international schools in Panama with links to their websites. So definitely get in touch with them, and you can plan to meet up with them while you're here.
Yeah. And
Get a tour of the school.
Yeah, but also Volcan, but the lifestyle is simpler than other places like per se Boquete or David. So it's a country town. Main industry is agriculture. So it's very laid back. It's very it's farming town. It's cooler. It's very if you're gonna be in the Volcan area, it's very spread out. So it is easy to get by. That it now has brand new roads. They have like nice sidewalks. The kids can go on the bicycle. It is a safe town, regardless. It's just to try it out, see what you like, what you guys like, and how the kids, if they seem more like it. They probably will have to push themselves more with the Spanish. There is not much of the foreigners or expats in that area per se.
It's a smaller expat community compared to some of the other places like Boquete, Panama City, Coronado, but definitely there are expats there.
Yeah. Or you can look at both and see how you think.
Yeah, I think next time we're going to check out Boquete, but we live in the country now in New Jersey, believe it or not.
Cool.
So that's just what my kids are used to, but thank you. That's good information.
Yeah.
And how far is the drive from Volcan to Boquete?
An hour and a half.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that far. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't look that far on a map, but you have to take a windy back road around the volcano.
Okay.
They're on opposite sides of a volcano. So it takes a little while to get around.
If you in a straight line, it will be like 15 minutes probably. But because they have to go around a big canyon, that's why.
Gotcha.
But there's a brand new road from Volcan to David. So that's quicker now.
It's quicker. If you take that road, probably 2 hours to Boquete.
Oh, okay.
Because you have to go all the way back to the Pan American Highway, then backwards to David, and then David Boquete.
Okay.
That's why.
Thank you.
You're so
Perfect.
welcome, Brooke.
Okay. Thank you for joining us, Brock.
Yeah, if you had more questions, just hit. We're very reachable. When you are in the area, if you not have any contacts or anything else that you can think of we can help you, please let us know.
Thank you very much.
You're so welcome.
All right. Now we are going to move. I noticed the chat started getting a lot of questions now, so I'm going to turn on the Q&A. We're going to ask Megan some of these questions. The favorite cities and towns you like in Panama? For raising a family, obviously.
Yeah, I feel like we visit most of them on our tours,
Yeah.
although our regular group tours aren't really family focused, although it would be a great way to get an overview. But we also do like private tours if you want to focus on schools or bring the whole family down.
Yeah.
And we would take you to Panama City, the Coronado area, and surrounding areas because there are schools also in Gorgona, in Santa Clara near Playa Blanca, Pedasí, Las Tablas,
Chitre.
David, Boquete, and possibly even Volcan.
Volcan, also there is school options even in areas like Bocas del Toro in the main island, Colón. So the school there is options in the country. It's all about the location, lifestyle, budget, and see what is the vibe like, what you guys are used to, you know. That's how you can kind of like try maybe a year, maybe try 6 months, or you can do in the beginning homeschooling to try first the spot in the country, and then okay, you settle with that area, and then try out some private school. Those sometimes are the healthiest way to do it.
The good thing about putting your kids into a school is that you have immediate community.
Yes, and also your kid will be exposed to learn a second language. If he's not like practicing, it really will force him, and it'll be an extremely benefit for his own future.
I'm gonna switch with you.
Okay. I'll publish that one. Why?
Well, I say like if you like the beach, I personally love Pedasí, and the sweat of more like simple lifestyle. But if you wanna have a little more the shopping convenience and more expat community with the younger families, Coronado or going up will be on the beach area. But Pedasí is becoming more common with younger families.
It is that whole it's where our peninsula is.
It's a healthy spot.
And
If
there's
you
some
like
good school options.
Yes, there is. All right.
Okay. Next question.
Yeah, and considering Panama, young and worried about schools, medical insurance, hospitals, neighborhoods, etc. Yeah, that's a lot. But all of the things that anyone would worry about.
Sorry, there's a dog here.
Schools, like we said, we'll send out a list with the websites of a bunch of the schools throughout Panama. So hopefully that helps. Medical insurance, we kind of went over prices there. If you're looking for international insurance for the family, you can budget around a few $100s a month. Hospitals, there are great hospitals in David, Panama City, in the other cities.
In the other cities, you have some private clinics. You have one if you're like Rio Hato, JW Buenaventura community, they have their own private hospital. And also there is one in Churrera. There is some private hospitals in Churrera, which will be in Chitre. But if you are in the area like a Gorgona, there is a clinics, but the closest private hospital will be Churrera. And then after that will be Panama City. Some of these insurance, even if you get the right plan, you can even get a helicopter ride, depending on the plan. So it is options. It's just also mainly as it comes down to budget.
Yeah. I think if you have a child that has a medical issue, you need to be closer to the
Panama City,
Panama City or David, like within an hour.
Yeah.
Yes.
But and Volcan, Boquete, all those areas around there, and Coronado, Gorgona, all have quick access to excellent healthcare. Otherwise, you're young family. It's like small town America. You might have to drive an hour and a half to your major hospital.
I actually have a friend, and she's like she's raising two. She just had a baby, and they're moving to Panama. They're moving to and a new areas is popping up in this country in the Veraguas province, which is like right next to Chiriquí. And a small beach town is called El Torrio, like Torio. And it's becoming popular that time. As a matter of fact, I have never had the opportunity to be there, believe it or not, because that's not the spot for some of the clientele. But certainly, I'm gonna go look it up because that community is growing more, and there is moving young families that want to be more adventurous because they have other opportunities for young kids like surfing.
It's still extremely remote.
Yeah.
Your closest city would be Santiago, which is
Will be at 2 hours, so you probably will have to be,
just under 2 hours away.
yeah. So you probably have to be like
School. The only school options you have there are in Santiago. There's an Oxford school. So it's not an option for most families, but some families really like to go super remote and homeschool.
Yeah, and there you gotta be self-efficient a lot. So you need to have some basic skills about what if your kid caught their arm or something. You need to figure out how to do the first aid until you get to the hospital.
Yeah. I've turned on microphone and cameras for Celine, Mark, and Sue and Ian. Hover over your screen. Click on the bottom.
Hi.
There you go.
Hello.
How are you guys?
Oh, you got to unmute the microphone too.
Oh yeah.
It's probably still red.
Hi.
There we go.
Thanks for doing this, you guys.
Oh,
We're
thanks
Celine
for
and
joining.
Carlin Hodges from Vancouver Island, and we've been considering Panama for a while, but we're not retired yet, and we have a 14-year-old son, so very interested in the schools and stuff like that. He's been taking Spanish in school, and he loves to travel with us and stuff. So we're just really interested in the schools and the expat community that have families, and wondering a little bit about, we also need to live on the coast, not up high, because I have migraines. I get migraines, and I can't live high up in the mountains. So I was wondering about, if there is much of an expat community with families in the coastal towns, and if you have any recommendations of coastal towns that have good high schools, international high schools. But also, what do you know, or if you know anything about what happens after? Like, can they go from those international schools to the colleges or universities there? Have you heard anything about that? So, yeah, that's a lot I know.
Definitely, if you want to be down and it's close to the sea level, then you have options. So you have options in area like Coronado, Gorgona, which basically in the district of Chame, Panama City, of course. You have plenty of options there with all the facilities you can think of. If you're in the Chiriquí province, you probably will be better off in David. In David, we have also international school as well. If you want to be, let's say, if you don't mind the drive, the little 30, maybe tops 40 minutes every day each way. If you can, there is a community on the beaches called Barqueta. There is a condominiums. There is a community there. I know there is some families, they have kids there. And you pretty much have to plan just the driving. But, living and sometimes in North America, people tell me they drive like 8 hours just to get point A to point B daily. So I'm like, well, 30 minutes, 40 minutes, I guess not much, right?
Yeah.
You can even just hire a transportation to get you to a point. You have to drive all the way to David, and that's an options. So once they have the school here internationally, because here I know they have schools, they have like the Oxford, Cambridge. So that will lead you open to go to either any college here in Panama, or also to give you the credits to go back to North America.
Yeah, you would definitely want to make sure it's an internationally accredited school, and ideally bilingual, because at that age you wouldn't want him to be in a just Spanish-speaking school where until he learned he would miss so much.
Yeah.
So, and also think about, like, if you said you're in Canada, right?
Yeah. Yes.
So you want to think about, like, what is Canada's standard if he wants to eventually go back to Canadian universities. Like, they might not teach all of the same things that he would learn in a Canadian high school that he would learn here. Although if it's an international school, he would get most of it. But just things you want to maybe follow up on to make sure he's getting everything that he would need to get into universities there.
Yeah, I think there might be a couple things online we have to do. But
I was gonna mention that, like, you can do some extra tutoring online, so you can complete that.
The Panamanian universities, most of them are like Spanish only, right?
Most of them, yes.
Mhm.
But there is Panama City. We were just talking about.
Well, there are some English ones too in
in
Panama
Panama
City.
City, yeah.
University of Miami is in Panama City. There are some other options, but there are some excellent Panama universities.
Yes.
But if your child's 14, already learning Spanish, they seem to learn the second language pretty fast.
Yeah,
they do.
with high school here, he would get it. And I also wanted to mention residency. So he would be a dependent under your residency until
18.
but up to 25, I believe it is.
Yeah, up
but
to 25 going to school.
Yeah, if he proves that he's going to school.
okay.
Yeah.
And he could probably apply at some point as
Yes.
well. Then.
If it's friendly nations visa, it's not really an issue.
Yeah.
He'll be able to easily. If it's a pensionado, it's a little more work for him to apply after on his own. But friendly nation visa, they take that into consideration with families that people are moving here, living here, working here, and forever.
Yeah,
So it's
and if you
easier
would
for
have
kids to get their visa.
Yeah, you could go through the family regrouping visa
Yeah. Mhm.
for if you guys have permanent residency.
Right. Okay.
Mhm.
Perfect. Thanks so much, you guys. Appreciate it.
So what about, hey, just on a note, there's still that option, and then you guys, Canadians and US, they have this. The only privileged people, they have 180 days tourist visa in this country.
Right.
So you can always just try it out that first.
Yes.
If for some reason residency is not that easy,
Yeah.
But you can always try that.
Right on.
Yeah. Awesome.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
Thank you
you.
so much for joining us.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay. Also, Mark, if you want to come on, you had raised your hand. You have to click on your camera and microphone to come live. For those of you that have raised your hand and have already spoken, you don't mind lowering your hand. If Mark isn't ready, we can go back to the questions in the chat. Give Mark a couple seconds here. Okay, we'll go back to the chat because we got a lot of questions.
You're doing a good job.
Okay. Which one is on there? Oh my God, I got lost. Rod gets confused easily here, don't I? Oh, I'm in the Q&A. Unpublished. Okay. Is it possible?
Do you have nomad visa with kids? Yes, I mean, if you're dependent.
Yeah, well, your income by yourself, the income qualification is 36,000. With a family, it's 48,000. So that's really the only difference. Digital nomad visas aren't very expensive to get, but you have to renew it at 9 months. So you got to pay that again.
I thought it was 3 years.
No, the digital nomad is for 9 months.
Oh.
And it's somewhere around, I've seen quotes floating around about $1,200. Then you got to do it again. No one has seen the third renewal yet because we're just not there yet. So because it was just introduced. But you can get it with kids if you can prove 2 years past income of $48,000 on your online activities. Sorry, I jumped in and answered that one.
That's okay.
You're the digital nomad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there we go.
Volcan services.
Municipal water, it says. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Well, there is municipal water.
Yep.
If you live in town.
But they have septic.
Yes, there is no sewer system. There is all septic. For the most part, septic in most of the country. There is internet, so all those main services you will have really good ones in the downtown area. Transportation as well. There is plenty public transportation.
Yep.
That will get more complicated if
It's
you
good. The
live.
infrastructure is really great
Yeah,
there.
and it's evolving. So
Of course,
it's,
the more rural you get, the not as great internet transportation will be a little bit more scarce. But
mhm.
the closer you are to town, the better it's going to be.
Yep.
What's it called? Fiber optic through town.
Yeah. If you're out remote, Panama now is accepting applications on Starlink. So internet is not an issue for your online workers. Starlink, what's it called? Recreational is already being used here by many people, but the Starlink residential should be available next quarter. Okay.
All right.
Pensional visa. Army, Navy, retired. Good for you.
Right.
Steven.
So you need a pension of $1,000 a month and plus $250 extra for each dependent you want to bring with you.
Yep. Very easy.
That's it. Very simple requirements. Okay. This nice lady already answered a question. Oop. Okay. Oscar, how was your experience giving birth? I think that's
very
more relevant
difficult.
to Megan. You were a mess. Megan was calm.
Yeah. So I went to a private hospital in David, and it was very nice. The private hospitals here are really nice, even in David, which are not as state of the art as Panama City. And we did it just paying out of pocket, and it's about $3,000 for a natural birth, about $5,000 for a cesarean. If you give birth in a public hospital here, it doesn't cost you a dime.
It's a free.
But it's not a great experience. You're not allowed to bring anyone in with you to the public hospital, and you'll be in a room with all the other birthing women.
Many women.
So it's not ideal, although it is free. But it's great. There are fantastic bilingual doctors here. There aren't options, like they just made a new rule that they don't let doulas in with you. And there aren't birthing centers. Panama doesn't recognize midwives. So there isn't that option. But the private hospitals are great. There's some great obstetricians here in Panama.
All right. There we go.
Are there good daily bus service from Boquete to David? Yes.
Very good.
I think it used to be 150. Is it?
I think it's
$2
175.
I went up to 175 in the last
175.
10 years. Yeah.
Yeah. And
Very
it's
expensive.
an hour and 15 minutes on the bus.
Every 30 minutes. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Every
usually
30
it's
minutes,
less
all day
time.
long.
It's less longer right there. From Boquete to David is all downhill.
Yeah. Most of them are full size, air conditioned, big
Yeah.
buses. There are some school buses left.
Yeah.
But
Well, I got to ride those a lot when I just got here.
yeah.
But that was hot.
Oh, that's an answer to the question. It's close to 175. They're on every 30 minutes. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Got more questions here. Who's raised their hands?
Celine.
Krista. Let's go. Krista, I am going to access your mic. Well, I'm not going to access. I'm going to allow you to access your microphone and your camera. Just hover over your screen. Down at the bottom, you'll see a camera and a microphone that are red. Click them so they're green. If you're on a tablet, just touch the screen. You'll see them. Same as your phone. So come join us, Krista.
We didn't really get into like safe neighborhoods. I feel like that's, unless you're in Panama City or David, it's pretty much safe
There we
anywhere.
go. Hey.
Hey guys.
Hey guys, welcome.
We got to do the microphone too.
Okay.
You might have just hit the camera. You got to. It's 2 clicks.
Hola.
There we go.
Hey, thank you so much, guys. This is amazing. We're loving the call so far.
Wonderful.
Good. So happy.
We have a couple of like all over the place questions. First one was, are there many expat communities on the East Coast, like the Caribbean side of Panama? And like, what do they rent like for like to rent like a beach house or something? Are they crazy expensive?
East Coast will be
No, North
Yeah,
Coast
Bocas.
would be
North
the
Coast.
Caribbean.
Yeah, it'll be
Yeah,
called
north,
Bocas.
Bocas or Cologne really is all you've got. It's not super developed on the Caribbean side. Everybody thinks it would be,
It's not.
but really you have Cologne and Bocas del
It's
Toro.
mostly
That's it.
parkland all the way.
Yeah, Cologne, you do your best bet will be and the opposite side of Cologne by Shelter Bay. Or
Yeah, we were
or
there a few years ago.
where?
Playa Blanca by Cologne a few years ago.
Uh-huh.
We were down at that end.
Yeah,
was-
and then also like by on the way by Portobello, passing Portobello La Grande, there are some communities. Now I'm not sure if it, for the school situation those are like any decent.
In Cologne, there's one international school.
Mhm.
In Bocas, there is also one international school. It's not accredited yet, but they are applying for accreditation.
And it's more families, more international families in the Cologne Island in Bocas del Toro. So it's pretty much wherever you want to be. There is some island right across from Bocas, which is Colon Carenero. And there is a small community as well. It's a little, when you live in an island, but you have to learn how to the lifestyle. You have to like the rainwater for the services. You have to be more cautious with they have some town water, but it's nothing safe to drink. Maybe to brush your teeth, but not even, especially with kiddos. So
That's any island.
you will have to have like some more let's say preparation and more carefulness that. But it's a beautiful island. You can find places probably from 700 to 1500, like something nice.
Yeah, rentals would really vary.
Yeah. And
Okay.
especially when you get into the long-term rentals, you get better deals and more options. Because some people say, oh no, we're gonna rent it on Airbnb with the high season, but then they know they're gonna have that place empty for the next 7 months.
Yeah.
Right.
Or when you come and say, okay, I'll rent you for a full year, and say, okay, great. They don't have to worry about that.
Talk healthcare over there. 'Cause we're talking the whole family.
Yeah, the whole family. So healthcare is where we're talking about Bocas del Toro Island, the Colon Island. So healthcare is now more clinics. For something there is a public hospital, but it's like, public is not that great. If you have a specialist, you have two choices. You can either take the long journey, boat to Almirante, and then drive 3 hours to David, or you just get the fly from Main Island to Panama City. If for some reason you need a treatment or an appointment with a specialist, and you start like making an event, you can just get the appointment and maybe get some shopping, some stuff, and then fly back. The flight is only 5 minutes.
Oh, okay, that's nice. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and then I was wondering about having babies at home. Does Panama recognize, like, say, if we were to have a home birth, is that
Panama doesn't recognize it. Some people have done it, but Panama doesn't recognize that practice. That's what my wife was just mentioning about the doula, that they don't even allow.
It's sort of like at your own risk, but there are midwives and doulas here.
You can do it, yeah, but it's on your own risk.
okay?
Mhm.
And then they would still recognize the child that was being born there, and it would have, I guess, citizenship in that.
You
Oh,
would
yeah.
have to go through a special process and bring witnesses with you to the office, the Tribunal Electoral.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, as long as you have witnesses.
Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. So yeah, witnesses is possible.
Wonderful.
I like doing that.
Specifically a Panamanian witness.
Yeah, I mean, I personally, I can appreciate and admire people that do that home. I'm more this in a way like a safety guy, so I would love to probably, and if we decide to have a second one, and I'll say, okay, we can do a home, but the home has to be next to the hospital.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had our first two at home, so
Yeah,
Yeah.
I do know a few women that have done it here, and it's
Yeah,
amazing.
I really admire that, but
that's awesome. Okay, and I just had one more quick question. Is it true that we could come down to Panama and be there for 180 days before we'd have to leave?
Yes.
and then
Yeah.
come back. That's
If
like
you're
the
from
travel.
the US or Canada, yes.
Yeah, only US and Canadians can do that.
Okay, yeah, we're from Canada.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. Did
You can
know
only drive for 90. You
Yeah.
can only use your driver's license for 90 because that's a whole different international accord.
Yeah.
So,
Oh,
so
okay.
you might have to do a quick 3-day trip to Costa Rica just for fun.
Or Colombia.
Oh,
Yeah,
or-
stamp
or Colombia.
in and
Yeah,
that'll
or- yeah.
reset your driver's
And then
license.
you can drive for the other 90.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing.
Colombia probably it will be easiest and cheaper.
Okay, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. This is so cool.
All right. All right, guys. And remember, everyone on the call here, at the end of the call, we're going to, all the stuff we've shown you at the beginning that we flew through, you're going to get a PDF of that, and you're going to get a PDF, including the expenses and stuff. And you're going to get a PDF of a list of all the different schools in Panama with links to their website. I saw something in the chat here that was missed by Joseph, that he saw 100 meg fiber for $200 a month. Well, that might have been 10 years ago. We're currently on a 300 meg fiber for $39 a month.
Yep.
You can get 500 meg for $50. I didn't bother because I don't, do a lot of video processing or gaming. And you can get a gigabyte for $89. So internet's very affordable here. $39. We can stream these videos all the time, never have issues. It's so good. I'm an online marketer like many of you are. So I not only have my main internet, I have a backup internet for $30. Just in case one goes up, I still have the other. Okay, let's quickly go. Anyone else want to raise their hand and say hi? But we do have a few more questions. I got to get them. Megan, did you give birth here? Oh.
In Hospital Cherokee.
Hospital Cherokee.
Oh, yeah. Oh, we already lived. Okay. So tell us about why did you choose Hospital Cherokee?
That's where my doctor was working out of.
That's a good reason.
I'm actually not sure if May Lewis has
My Lewis,
obstetricians
yeah,
that
they
work out of
do.
there.
Yeah, they do. They do.
It's a great hospital too. It was actually when I was in the Peace Corps, that's where Peace Corps always sent us to May Louise. So it's a great hospital. Both are really good, have good doctors.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What do you got there?
Any pro tips? Delays with Meduca. But I am like Meduca. We just did a process because Phoenix, my 10-year-old boy, he was doing homeschooling, and we have to get the paperwork from the States. Apostille, is that the word?
He was following an online homeschooling curriculum.
Yes, and then it is very easy if you understand the language, because no one will speak English, like
in the
no
Meduca
one
offices.
in the Meduca offices, and then it's a lot of small windows. So like that we were doing in David, that was a little bit of like, if you don't ask, you never get things done, and and basically it was one little section of the place of the building, and there was this lady. She had a little bit of attitude, but everything is about, I always say to everybody, it's about how you approach the situation. So she was kind of like, okay, who you are, and that's this, you need this and this, that. Okay. So thank you so much. But in the end, she was very helpful, just because I didn't react. I was just going with it. And then she was very helpful in the end. And then I just paid $5 to like a stamp in the Meduca building, and it was ready within a week.
You have to take the apostles paperwork, get it translated here in Panama
Translated here in
first.
Panama, yes. Sorry, I missed that. detail.
Get it accredited, then apostoled, then translated.
Then translated.
Let's just fill in the other 50 people here. What is Meduca?
The Ministry of Education.
And what were you doing this for? Phoenix was in private, and you were doing what?
He was in homeschooling.
Yeah,
And
after
we're
pandemic,
putting him
yeah.
back
Putting
into
them back
private.
into, okay.
Yes, that's
I
what
just wanted to
happened.
make sure everyone else understands.
Yeah.
Thank you
What's
so
the
much.
question?
Thank you so much.
Okay. So pro tips, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
it is a long
There's
process.
there's your pro.
Other parents who went through it in your expat communities should be able to help you. There's also a great Facebook group that's homeschooling parents in Panama as well. Or just reach out to us.
Yeah,
we can
there we
send
go.
you in the right direction.
What happens to the 200K? that comes to us.
Mhm.
We'll give you the
You
bank account
guys-
number to deposit.
Yeah. It's a term, 2 or 3 year deposit. So after that, you do whatever you want.
Yeah.
But during the time, this is what I like about Panama CDs. It doesn't accrue interest. Like you get the same amount of interest every single month for the 2 years. But that interest goes into a savings account, which you can spend. So a lot of people that go with the CD route have enough money to pay their rent because you can get 4 to 5% CDs in Panama. You put $200K in, that's that's $800 a month. That's what you pay.
That's pretty much what I pay. I pay for a full house.
Yeah.
4 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms, garage.
You have 4 bathrooms. I found another bathroom in your house.
Yeah,
I
the
keep
garage.
finding bathrooms.
I know.
I didn't know there was
Keep
one.
looking. You might find another one.
Okay, what do we got here? American military VA clinics in Boquete. There are none in Boquete, specific VA clinic. There are in David and Panama City, mostly in Panama City, the hospitals. It all depends what, I know we're away from the family thing here, but a lot of people are young, retired military. So the hospitals that will bill the VA, if you are TRICARE for life, are in Panama City. There in David, you will get a VA pharmacy access and some VA and doctors. But for the major stuff, they are going to send you to Panama City for a hospital that will bill the VA. You can get reimbursement stuff done in some of the hospitals in Panama City. But right in Boquete, no, there's not even a VA doctor. You'd have to go to Panama City if you wanted to get reimbursed for a VA doctor. Okay. Well, this is what I like to bring. Why do we take people to the Tuesday market on our tours, Oscar?
Because it's just fair, because it's just the right thing, and because it is one of the highlights of Boquete expat community. Simple.
The expats mingling with all the local Panamanians selling their wares. I love it. There are so many young people working in the Tuesday market, have their little businesses supporting their families.
Yes. Yeah. There's a lot of people that actually want a guy from France with they have a place and I think it's Algarrobos or Anastasios.
Mm-hmm.
And
the
young family, they move here to Panama. Guys, that is absurd how delicious desserts this guy made. Of course, French.
Have you tried them, Ron?
What are they?
His pastries, the
French
pastries.
Oh, it's just ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Dangerous.
Yeah. God bless their family.
We are, guys. We got 5 minutes left in this event, so I want to show you something. We do more than just where is it? Schools upcoming. We have a list of upcoming Q&As. Could have sworn that would be larger. Oh, so on May 8th, in 2 weeks, we have our general Q&A. But May 22, a lot of you might be interested in this. Now, you're going to get an email right after this call ends with everything we talked about, links to our website, everything. You can register for this one. We're going to have a specific Q&A about working and starting a business in Panama. We'll teach you how to support your family here, even getting jobs in Panama.
Yep.
And then in June, we're going to have a specific Q&A. Oscar and Megan are going to be on a trip in Colombia, and I'm going to do moving your pets to Panama because we do that. And then we have our general Q&A. I just wanted to bring that to your attention. Okay.
We have a Sue and Celine. They raise their hand.
Sue and Ian, have you guys already said hello? Yes. You guys, Sue and Ian, if you're still on, you're still on. If you had a question that wasn't answered, please click the camera and microphone down at the bottom of your screen. If you don't see it, touch the screen, click your mouse, and come on and ask your question. Domestic flights. Oscar, how much are the domestic flights between David and Panama City?
It depends on how soon or far you buy the ticket, but it goes usually round trip 150.
No, 113.
Round
trip.
Yeah.
Around 100.
No, they're all
110.
one-way flights. All our domestic flights. 113, David, Panama City, Petitsi. Panama City, Petitsi is 129, I'm going to say.
Yeah, around that number.
And Bocas del Toro, 118. Megan?
It goes about that time.
120.
Now, if you're in a booking in a busy weekend, those prices can go all the way to 180, 200, 220.
Try to
So,
book 30 days in advance.
Yes,
But-
one way.
So we are. Thank you so much. Oh, Susan and Ian are shy. Did you type your question? Did we answer your question, Susan and Ian? Please, we only got a few minutes left, so you got an important question.
What about
We
Celine?
definitely. We've already talked to Celine
Oh, okay. Sorry.
and her guy. I'm just going through here, see what we missed. Did you get Mate Lewis? I saw 100. Yeah. Right. Good questions, guys. Again, you're going to get a complete wrap up of this. Megan, you got any final moments, talks? Something you said you didn't talk about?
No, we
What
went.
was it?
Oh, it was neighborhoods.
Neighborhoods, yeah.
Yeah. So any of the smaller expat communities, they're really safe.
Oh, right here, yeah.
If you're in the major cities, there are some neighborhoods
Better
that
places.
are more
Yeah.
desirable than others.
Yes.
Like Cologne, also. Cologne is Panama's second
Largest city.
city.
And
You
it
got to
is
be
a more
careful.
dangerous.
Yeah,
province.
Cologne. You probably want to be in a gated residential community with a that will be straight up mandatory if you're in Cologne. If somebody must be doing something in Cologne, like working there with a free zone or something, that would be the only thing you can think of living in Cologne.
Yeah.
But generally, I would say I feel much safer here in Panama almost all of the time, anywhere I go, than I ever felt in any major cities in the U.S.
Yeah.
Panama City has an expat community for families, but don't forget, you're going to be separated. There's 2 million people in Panama City.
Mhm.
They're not like here in Volcan on a Sunday afternoon. You can go to the park and and they're all over the place.
Yeah.
You don't find that in Panama City.
Yeah, that's one thing we
you
didn't
gotta
get into
drive
is
to
like
an event.
activities for families.
Mhm.
Obviously, Panama City, you're going to have the most options for everything.
But you're driving to them all because they're
Yeah.
not right in your neighborhood all the time.
Right.
Maybe we should do another wrap up
Mhm.
Q&A number 2 about families.
We could.
Which we
Part
definitely
two.
could, part 2.
Let
Because
us
there's so
know.
much to wrap around about families and entertainment, things you can do, sports that your kids can learn and practice here. We actually have a place like all the Pacific Ocean for kids to learn surfing. So I got distracted by
He's throwing paper balls at Phoenix to get him to come in.
I'm trying to get his attention.
He said he doesn't want to
Okay.
come in the call.
Yeah, we are. You got to come. Right. I
Gotta say
need
hi.
you here, Phoenix. I need help with my computer. This is part of the family. Okay, I got to be in the picture. now.
Repping the Eagles.
Because
Repping the Eagles,
because
go
I
Reds.
am Uncle Rod. So anyhow, and then we have a
I'm
dog,
just missing.
but
I'm
we're
just
not
missing
gonna
my
bring
baby
the dogs.
girl. We'll be here. We'll be here in a month.
Yeah.
So-
That's right.
From our family to yours.
From one family
Thanks
to yours.
for joining, everyone.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much for your time, and please reach out to. We're very reachable on Facebook and Instagram. And thank you for being here and to listen to us and all the questions. We really appreciate you guys, and see you soon.